faces of people who I'll never meet. They all got places to go now, and they got people to see. But I'm just watching it all now. Nobody's bothering me. You know the world's spinning round, but I can't feel a thing. Nothing long, nothing fast. We're gonna see what tomorrow brings. I look out my window, and what do I see? I see the faces of people who are nothing like me. Nothing on my agenda, nothing much to do. I try to piece it together now, but I ain't got a clue. You know the world spinning round, but I can't feel a thing. Nothing long, nothing fast. We're gonna see what tomorrow brings. On the street, I see the faces of so many people who I'll never meet. I look out my window and I look down on the street. I see the faces of people who I'll never meet. They all got places to go now, and they got people to see. But I'm just watching it all. Nobody bothering me. You know the world spinning round, but I can't feel a thing. Nothing long, nothing fast. We're gonna see what tomorrow brings. You know the world spinning round, but I can't feel a thing. Nothing long, nothing fast. We're gonna see what tomorrow brings.
All right, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in to the live stream right now. We're Eclipse, based out of Providence, Rhode Island. Give our thanks to Motif as well as the Parlour. And shout out to Eric, the sound guy. as well as our video curator here. That last one was called Out My Window. Next song we got for y'all is called Night is Young.
Tell, won't you stay with me? Is that too much to ask? Won't you lay with me? Don't you let that feeling pass. Baby, I hope morning comes, you'll be with me. See that rising sun. Won't you show me what you're hiding, baby? Night is young. Won't take all night. I need just enough to make you feel alright. Wherever it is that you gotta go now, there ain't no rush now, babe. Just take it slow. Said you're leaving me before the morning sun. The night is young. Get my hopes too high, 'cause tomorrow it's just me, myself, and I. Wherever it is that you gotta go now, there ain't no rush now, babe. Just take it slow. Got a couple hours left before the sun. The night is young. The night is young, yeah.
All right, that one was Night is Young. Again, we're Eclipse, coming out of Providence, Rhode Island. Thrilled to be here at the Parlour tonight with y'all. We got a few more songs for you. Next one is called Cure.
to be this way. But when you act like that, darling, there ain't much I can say. I got the angel in my left, devil in my right, and I'm holding on, my dear, I'm holding with all my might. It can't go on this way now, that much for sure. 'Cause you got a sickness, baby, I don't have the cure. Devil in my right, and I'm holding on, my dear, I'm holding with all my might. It can't go on this way now, that much for sure. 'Cause you got a sickness, baby, I don't have the cure.
All right, that one was called The Cure. Again, we're coming out with an album in a few weeks here at the end of October, so be sure to check us out on all streaming platforms. Next song we got for y'all is called Stone Cold Lover.
With a heart of gold and a sorry mother from a broken home. You gotta know by now that it won't change. You gotta know by now that it's a shame. Where did she go? We gotta find each other for the day is old. You gotta know by now that you can't go home. You gotta know by now that you're not alone. Then you're running with the line, and you're shopping your night on my mistakes. you gonna do? You better run for cover. The devil's got an eye on you, and you're telling me you're leaving, but you do not know where you'll stay. You're gone tomorrow, at least you're here today. And you're running for your life, and you're shouting your night on my mistakes. You will not change your mind on my mistakes. Yeah, yeah.
Please don't let me down. 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 I said, please don't let me down. Please don't let me down. I said, please don't let me down.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're Eclipse. Check us out on Instagram. Many thanks to Motif and the Parlour, and stick around for the interview.
right. Welcome back. Between the Notes podcast by Motif Magazine. And today we have the band Eclipse. Why don't you guys go through and just introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Benjamin Quinn.
My name is Paul Simmons.
Brian Flowers.
Ethan Dowding.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. No, thank you guys for being on the podcast today. Great sound. Like I really, definitely distinct, like funk and just all the kind of stuff we like at the Parlour here. So
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. We appreciate you having us on.
we want to thank the Parlour for hosting the Between the Notes podcast, hosted by Motif, and the sponsors are One Indoor Karting, Trinity Beer Garden, and Grey Sail Brewing. So you guys, now that you've done the podcast and you know that this video is going to be out there forever in perpetuity, what do you want people to know about your band?
We just like to say that, you know, if you're into kind of the older fusion rock with a twist of the 21st century, then come check us out. I think we have what you're looking for.
How long have you guys been playing?
We're coming up on a year. About a year now. Yeah, October 1st was our first practice session.
Nice.
Took us a few more weeks to find the metronome here. And we've been going strong ever since.
Right on. And as far as like playing shows, it seems like you guys are pretty regular. I see you have a show coming up this week, right? Do you want to promote that?
Yeah, we've been playing shows in Providence quite a bit. Got a show on Tuesday at dusk, 8 o'clock. Hope to see y'all there.
It looks like a good lineup. It's all people that we're very familiar with here at the Parlour.
Shout out our artist Jackie.
Yes. And yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, so when it comes to performing and playing around locally, do you have like a good network of people to tap base with and kind of like get on gigs, or are you guys mostly booking them yourselves? Like, what's the challenge there?
Well, we've been fortunate to meet a lot of great bands, and you know we've done some networking with them and been able to get a lot of opportunities. Ethan has really, you know, taken a great talent to that, so I'll let him speak about that a little bit if he's ready for it.
Most of the shows I put together. Recently, we've gotten a couple more that bands have thrown us, but generally we take care of it ourselves. But we're always looking for more shows.
Yeah.
So if you like what you heard.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm a booker at Pub on Park, and I also host open mics there too. I do that.
Nice. What day are the open mics?
They're going to be one Tuesday a month. The first one is Tuesday, September 27th.
Nice.
No, what's fun is that after a year of being a band, we're finally reaching a little bit of a turning point. We're finally starting to play places in other states. So last month we finally had our first gig in Connecticut,
Nice.
in New Haven, and just this past weekend on Saturday we played the Jungle. Was that Somerville? Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, Somerville. Yeah, Boston. And then on the 30th, so in about 12 days or something like that, we're playing at the Crunch House in West Haven where we played last month. Yeah.
Okay, right.
So we're always trying to find other
Exactly.
states.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like, you guys have a distinct sound, and you probably have other bands that you prefer to play with and stuff like that. So what is it for you right now as a band, like the mission, just get more gigs, or do you have like some writing, some studio time in mind?
So actually, we did have some studio time that we used up, and the album that we're making out of it will, I think we're shooting for like a mid-October release. Mid to late. That's
If
what I
all
said.
goes well, yeah. Is it self-release?
Yeah. Oh, Ben.
Yeah, it's going to be a self-titled album called Eclipse, and you know we've had great fun performing live, and a frequent question that we get is like, where can we listen to your music? And now the Parlour Facebook page is one of those places.
True.
But you know, we'd like to get more established on some streaming platforms. and hopefully develop an online following. So I think that's a big goal for our band closing out 2022.
Right on.
Follow our Instagram at eclipse_band_RI.
Yeah, get that. So as far as gigging goes and all that, what are the challenges? Like, if you could tell yourself a year ago, like, what to expect, what would you want to tell yourself?
Buy a van if you're the drummer. Because putting all those drums in a Volvo is not fun. I kind of want to cry every time we pack up for a gig. It's a horrendous activity.
And work out a little bit more just to get the upper body strength.
You could switch to like a Congo style. You know, that's a bit more portable, but a cajon. Yeah.
Just to
Options.
strip down for like certain gigs.
As far as like what people should know about gigging, you know, just make sure you get there early.
Mm-hmm.
Always butter up the sound guy, you know, and the bartenders,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, especially on the stage, it's really refreshing to hear the banter includes supporting the club and the bartenders and tipping them. That's
Absolutely.
like something I would tell anybody that's just starting out playing a lot of shows. And then I wanted to ask you guys too, like when it comes to performing, obviously when you have a lot of shows, rehearsal is kind of a big deal. But what is your process? Like, what are you guys doing every week? Like, just playing a gig and rehearsing and trying to get out?
Yeah,
more
we've
and
been
more?
playing gigs, you know, 3 times a month the past few months, and we try to practice, you know, twice a week. But life often, you know, gets in the way of that, and you know, coordinating 4 schedules is difficult.
That's exactly why I asked.
Especially when it's something that, you know, it's we're doing just for the love of it, right?
Right.
At this point. So work and other family priorities can sometimes jump ahead. But, you know, we all do a great job of coming out and working hard. And, we got a fortunate group here.
So as far as experience goes, like, have you guys, are you each very experienced playing out, or did this something like that you had to push yourself to do?
No, I played my first gig with these guys.
Nice.
I'll let you all answer that one.
I've played with a couple previous bands, but this is the most seriously I've ever taken a music group before.
I think it shows for sure.
I since 5th or 6th grade, I've been in percussion in school.
Nice.
So, you know, the winter concerts
Yeah,
and stuff.
band geek.
Yeah, I wasn't the band kid. I was the kid in band.
Oh,
You know,
right on.
but you know, twice a year, maybe in the school year, I'd get up on stage and just play percussion and stuff. So I was kind of acclimated to playing live, but not in this sort of setting. So it was a big jump for me.
Nice.
I started gigging about 2 years ago with another group, and then I formed this group, and then we've been hitting it hard here ever since. But that other group was my first exposure to the Rhode Island music live scene.
Yeah, I'm asking because I am in a band and I just started getting gigs with my band, and all of us are new to it too. So I'm always curious to hear from other people like that are a little bit more along, like what, you know, how much of a challenge it was to get started. But it seems like you guys have the basics, the connections, the social media, you know, and you've already been in the recording studio. So that's the next step in this journey for you all, right? Getting that music out there and keeping the fan base kind of like supporting in that. And this is definitely another avenue to get out there. Yes. Thanks again to Motif and the Parlour for having us. And I just wanted to go through one more time. If you guys wouldn't mind, just again, what instruments are you all playing? And like, what was the first time like you learned that? Like, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing guitar
Guitar.
for a while.
Yep.
I don't remember exactly when I started.
As a kid, or?
Yeah, I was a young man.
Mm-hmm.
You're still a young man.
Yeah.
I was a younger man. Like 2 weeks ago.
Does feel like that sometimes.
I started drumming probably 4th or 5th grade. I'm not sure how old you are in that grade. I don't want to think about numbers right now. But
I meet a lot of drummers, and when I talk to them, they always say that, like, from a young age, they could tell because they have, like, this, I don't know, anxious energy in their body that they have to, like, get it out somehow, and that's
I'm
always been a good
either
tool.
shaking my foot or tapping on my thighs.
Yeah.
And the band director in 5th grade noticed that, and she was like, "Do you want to audition for band?" And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing. I can't read music." And she was like, "Okay, just come with me."
Yep,
So
you have the energy.
We went to one of the math classrooms, and she was like, "All right, play this rhythm on your thighs." She had me tap on my thighs and just mirror her, and she was like, "You could play drums."
Yep.
And so,
Mrs. Lee?
no,
Who was this?
I don't remember her name. I wish I knew her name,
Yeah.
but I don't know who got me into drums.
But here you are now.
went to school together.
Yeah,
right on.
so
maybe they'll see
Yeah.
the interview.
It's like,
yeah, maybe my 5th grade band teacher will see this interview.
and
but,
here you are now, yeah.
Here I am still tapping my thighs and shaking my foot.
Well,
and
yeah,
just
because you must have
letting
a
it out.
natural affinity
Yeah,
for it,
yep.
and that's what teachers are supposed to do. They're supposed to, like, recognize these qualities in people and put them in the direction that they need to go. So
Exactly.
When did I pick up the bass? I think I picked it up at 16, junior in high school. After getting like acclimated with the guitar for a couple of years.
I hear that often about
Yeah.
people, like, start with guitar. I don't know. They try to push guitar on everybody for some reason when you're, like, in showing interest in wanting to play anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because all the legends, play the guitar. But
Yeah.
as far as bass, yeah, most people, like, that get into bass are like, guitar wasn't really for me.
Yeah, no, I still play it from time to time. I have a couple of them.
Of course. All bassists do,
Yeah.
honestly.
We have to.
It doesn't usually go the other way, though, right? It's like usually it's like, bass players stick to bass. Sometimes they'll play guitar.
Yeah.
Guitar players are like, fuck bass. I'm
Yeah.
not playing it.
I really haven't heard a lot of stories of bassists going to guitars.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Cheers. So my name again is Ben Quinn, and my first instrument was the trombone. Come a long way since then, right? Now I've been playing piano, keys, organ for about 4 years. So it's been a wild ride, and I just feel very fortunate to be hooked up with these guys, and want to thank you and Motif
Of course.
again for having us on and giving us this opportunity.
So you've been playing piano for about 4 years. That's about as long as I've been playing piano. And I will say it's a challenge. Did you already know how to read music before you started playing?
I used to be able to read the bass clef for trombone, but there was like a 10+ year lull where I wasn't playing any music. And the type of stuff that we do now really doesn't require one to read music. So I haven't been very motivated to pick that back up.
Yeah, just the piano in general, it seems like a prerequisite sometimes in order to be able to play it. And that was a really big challenge for me. It was like learning a new language and then trying to figure out this instrument,
Yeah, it's important, but I think it's equally as important to kind of just feel the instrument and get to know it.
Spoken like a true musician.
There's more to theory than just reading. As most theory in my experience is physical. And I do know how to read, but I never use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's also something to think about is like, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, it's almost like a hurdle, right? It's like, you're like, oh, once I get over that, then I can actually be in a band. Then I can actually play. It's like all of those little steps that you're like, oh, I have to do it that way. But you're right. You just kind of go with it and see where it leads you is a better approach most times.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in not taking those little baby steps and like thinking like, okay, here's the next step before I join a band. Here's the next step. I hadn't played drums at my house, so I always had a drum kit growing up, but for a while I just didn't play it. So I donated it to him. He kept it in his basement. That's now our little home studio practice room. A transaction of what, $50, right? $50 for my cheap starter drum kit to go in his basement. And I was actually playing bass guitar with him, just jamming out, trying to form a band, and nothing was going on. So we
back then? Sludge metal?
yeah, some stupid shit, you know, like yeah, you'd be impressed with But
a two-piece that makes sense because that's the typical formation of a band that plays that kind of metal.
The hardest part for us was finding a singer, and it just wouldn't happen. So I called it quits on that. And then a few months later, Ethan met these two guys at an open mic. They started jamming, and I get a call on my phone from Ethan, and he goes, "Do you want to come drum in this band?" Fuck it, sure, why not? And here I am. So
shout out the open mics. I hear a lot of people meeting other musicians,
open
networking
mics are the way
through
to
it.
go, for sure.
Come to my open mic. My open mic is September 27th. It's a Tuesday night starting at 7:30. There's no cover.
Exactly.
Come on down.
Or if you can't make it to that, come to the Parlour open mic on Wednesdays. Also starts at 7:30 and also no cover. Yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to shout out the open mics because I have met a lot of musicians through that, and it is more like a dedicated, regular type of thing. You get to see people up here doing their thing, and then it kind of approachable, like, hey, I like what you sound like. Do you guys want to maybe jam sometime? And it seems like that's kind of organically how the three of you met, and then the two of you kind of have known each other for a really long time. How did that affect the sound that the band formed?
I think it affected it greatly. Me and him jammed for a couple months, just the two of us, before we met these two. And I think me and Ben were going for like a different kind of vibe, like a more subtle kind of soft, rocky kind of vibe. And then Ethan comes along and introduces a lot of heaviness into it that we weren't expecting, but it's what we needed for the group.
Yeah, one of the best parts of being in this group has been, kind of the convergence of different musical tastes and influences, because I think we all bring, our own record collection to the table, and when we write songs, that comes out with the drum style, with Ethan's style on the guitar. Paul's like an 80s glam rock band type of guy, so he brings that to the table, and it seems to be working so far.
Yeah, you gotta have that. I call it the soup, right? It's like you all have your own flavor, and then it blends in a soup. And stir it up, right?
Yeah, or soup, salad,
Exactly.
whatever you want to call it.
Sounds a little healthier. But yeah, your sound is really distinct. I do like it. It's really, it's like kind of danceable, but like on the rock side of it, where it's not too like poppy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, and we play with a lot of bands, there's no one else in Rhode Island doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good selling point.
Okay, so I do have something to mention that I know there's nobody else doing the sound, but I did see that you guys found you had to change your name originally.
Oh, man.
So, because Eclipse is not the first name for this band, right? Okay. All right, got
We
it.
used to be called Strange Ways.
Strange Ways.
We used to be called Strange Ways for about 2 days.
Hey, that kind of rhymed. But there was a conflict.
We're called the Eclipse.
Yes. Yeah, there was a conflict in that realm, but
Who would have thought that in the smallest state, there's another group called Strange Ways?
I know. Also in Rhode Island. Yes, exactly. Well, I think Eclipse is a very fitting name for your sound, and it just seems like you know, a convergence, like you were saying. So that makes a lot of sense with the name. And you said the album's going to be self-titled, right? Is it going to be self-released? You're going to put it on all the platforms?
We are going to do our best to get it out as fast as possible.
So is this the only place people can hear your music online right now?
Oh, yeah. We have a couple recorded sets at the Pump House from back in like March.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
So just stay in touch with you guys on social media,
Please.
and they'll get the updates.
Eclipse_band_RI.
Very important to give the underscores. And again, assume everybody that's watching is already following the Parlour on Facebook and Instagram. If not, it's Parlour Providence and Motif Mag RI. Shout out to them too for the Between the Notes podcast that they're doing here every week. And thank you guys so much for being on it too. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a nerve-wracking interview. And I know most performances don't come with an interview after, so.
Maybe they should.
This
Yeah.
is my first interview.
Nice. All right. That's my third.
Yeah, they usually don't give me a mic on stage. They say I'm not allowed to have one, so it's a very new
Drummers-
experience for me.
It's pretty common actually.
How does it feel?
Kind of like it a little too much, Paul. I might steal your mic next time we have a gig, actually. I'll sing your parts.
You're welcome to do that. You just can't play my parts.
I'll take your bass, too.
Gonna do like a Freaky Friday switch up one set. It's gonna be Halloween. And
I
outfits.
think
You gotta
the
switch
current
outfits.
arrangement is working pretty well, so we'll stick with that for now. Everything else can be discussed offline, I think. But yeah, thanks again for putting this together. It's a pleasure.
I hope to see you guys on the stage at the Parlour again very soon, for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
Let's
we
make it
will.
happen.
Yeah, we'll talk after the podcast. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. Just want to thank again the Parlour for hosting the podcast from Motif Magazine, and I want to thank again the sponsors. We're thanking Trinity Beer Garden, K1 Indoor Karting, and Grace Ale Brewing. Thanks again, R1. I keep messing. It's R1 Indoor Karting. I keep thinking it's RI Indoor Karting because it's the one that looks like an I, and they are fine with it either way, apparently. But again, thank you to the sponsors, thank you to the Parlour, and thank you all for watching the Between the Notes podcast by Motif Magazine.
See y'all soon.
Thanks.
Tuesday night.